Hey everyone, and welcome to a very special kit review with myself, Tom and Harry. We today are looking at 4 different sets of shooting sticks. We've got a set of Viperflex sticks, we've got a set of Blaser sticks, we've got a set of sort of generic sticks from Best Fox Call, and then we've got a Spartan tripod. So a lot of you out there probably at some stage have used one of these, sort of a single leg stick, but they're dead. We're now on to these things. So we'll see which one performs best today. We're going to do a couple of different tests with them. We're going to do a range test and see whether there's any difference in the grouping of them. And then we're also going to talk through the pros and cons of each one in terms of sort of their usability, build quality, functionality, how expensive they are, etc, etc. So let's see how we go. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the sort of conclusion of our kit review video. We've been looking at 4 different sets of sticks today. We've had the Viperflex sticks, the Best Fox Call sticks, Spartan tripod, and the Blaser shooting sticks. We also, and it probably doesn't explain it on the board beneath us, did clip the 5th leg to the Viperflex sticks, and that's what the top target underneath the Spartan label is, I think on that end of the target. And essentially each of us did 3-shot groups on each set of sticks at the targets, and you can sort of see the results below. And we're just going to quickly sort of talk through our thoughts. And I think from my perspective, the first thing to say is you do get slightly better results from what you're used to. I think both of us found that. So Harry uses day to day the Blaser shooting sticks, and you can see from his group it's slightly better. I use the Viperflex sticks, and I think my group is slightly better with those as well. But also, generally speaking, apart from perhaps the Spartan tripod, which is something slightly different anyway, the results between all of the sets of sticks is pretty similar, to be honest, from a shooting perspective.
Yeah,
I think that's fair to say.
I think that's right. I mean, it's a bit more stark with my one, I think, because what I found is I've got a Sauer rifle that's got quite a rounded bottom to it, and so when you rest that on something flat like this, which is these are just like Best Fox Call sticks, you get quite a lot of wobble in the rifle in general. So there's not, you get quite a lot of wiggle on it, whereas you can see on those Blaser sticks, you've got that V, and it sort of sits in that V really snugly, and it just holds it in a lot tighter. So I think that the results are a bit different for me than for you.
Yeah.
So Tom's shooting with a form rifle stock that's got a flat bottom, so the flat bottom goes on the flat bottom of those sticks, or these Viperflex sticks. So I think the results for you are a bit more similar than mine. Mine actually show that A, I'm probably not as good a shot as you, and B, my rifle does not like these federal bullets. I'm trying to get rid of them, so that's part of the reason why it's not quite zeroed and a little bit skew-if. But I think between the Viperflex and the Best Fox Call sticks, I think those are from Best Deer Call actually, but all the same really, there's not really any particular difference I don't see, but the Blaser ones I think are a bit better.
The Spartan tripod, and I feel slightly guilty for saying it, and we only shot one group. I was the only one that used it to shoot a group with. It's not really fair in some ways to compare them against quadsticks, because it's not the same sort of system, but for deer stalking and for what we do, I found them virtually impossible to use. The stability is just, it's not great at all. I mean, I can see the use for them if you were out hiking and you've got to take a quick chest shot at something, and you want something ultra light, compact, then I'm sure they're great. But for day-to-day sort of walking around here, 100 yards, sort of quite precise shots, they weren't great. And
that's got any rear support.
No,
the front support is really good, but it's almost it's like shooting the Viperflex sticks with the 3rd leg, but without the back portion, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not great.
And I couldn't quite get there's a sort of collet on the front, on the sort of spigot mount, whatever you want to call it, to tighten it, to stop it from moving, and I just couldn't ever get it quite tight enough that it really gave enough support for the rifle, really. So we only shot one grip. I can't remember if you shot the top targets, I think, didn't you? I shot the bottom target.
Yeah, that's right,
the top target of the Spartan one is actually Viperflex with a 5th leg, and is probably, I think, my smallest group. But generally all of my targets on the bottom are about 1-inch groups, I'd say, apart from with the Spartan ones, where you do see quite a noticeable kind of opening up of groups.
Yeah, no, that was noticeable.
Yeah.
Shall we talk briefly about price?
Yes.
So highest to lowest, I think it probably goes the Spartan, then the Blaser, then the Viperflex, because these are not the carbon ones, these are just normal aluminium ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then the Best Vehicle, Best Foxcall, Sealand, whatever, they're all sort of 100 quid-ish, aren't they?
I was going to say, so you've got sort of 100 quid up to sort of 700, 800 quid for the Spartan ones. So quite
a lot of money, isn't it?
It's very expensive.
And I mean, they're very well made, and they're carbon fibre, they are very light.
They're quite easy to set up as well, in fairness to them.
Easy to set up,
out of all the sticks, if you had to take a really quick shot, I'd say they actually probably, to get up and on sticks, they're probably the quickest ones, I would say.
Agree. I think they're good, but just not really for stalking.
Not really for what we want to know.
Let's see.
And if you were then going to go through build quality, I'd say, they do have the highest build quality, so you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And no sort of disrespect to the Best Vehicle, Best Foxcall ones, they probably are out of the selection here, possibly the worst build quality.
Yeah, but they're cheap. They're cheaply made.
Yeah.
So you can understand that it might have bent a bit. I've had them for a couple of years. They've done me well, don't get me wrong, and they're fine. Absolutely fine, no problem with them. You can easily go deer stalking with them, but they're not quite as sturdy. So I think build quality, it probably goes, the Viperflex I think are better build quality than the Blaser ones. The Blaser seems to have more plasticky-ness to it than these, which are very, very solid, I have to say.
And you found a bit more kind of play in the top.
There's a bit more play, yeah. I think we'll probably do a bit of a more detailed video of them once I've had them in for maybe 6 months. But if you can see that sort of V at the front, whilst that rotates to obviously allow your rifle to move, it does sort of wiggle a bit as well when you're in there.
Yeah.
So that's not quite as good. They are carbon fibre, so they're nice and light. They're very easy to set up. They're very quick to use. So I do really like them. And the pan on them is that's fantastic. Really. Yeah. It's such an added feature. It does genuinely give you a lot of tracking, which is really, really handy for deer stalking. So. Personally, I think the Blasers are my favourite. They are more expensive, however, than the Viperflex. I was going to recommend to somebody, if you had a couple of £100 to spend, I'd probably still recommend the Viperflex.
Would you?
Yeah, but I think the Blasers work really well for Blaser rifles and sow rifles.
Yeah.
Just because, like I say, of that rounded bottom and the pan as well is very handy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the sturdiness of these Viperflex. Everyone says that they are the bee's knees, and I have to say, having used them in relation to those, I think they're right.
And I think with the Viperflex, you've got more customization options available in terms of, I know you can get different hinges and springs on them to open them out wider and lower.
Yeah.
You've got the 5th leg that you can attach, which
true.
In fairness does also, you've attached the 5th leg to the Blaser ones, and you've had them on these before as well.
They never really, it doesn't fit properly is the problem. You can see I've had to sort of tape it up, so you have to kind of make it fit, and it never really kind of works quite as well as it does on the actual Viperflex, because obviously it's designed for it. But I'm sure Blaser, those are quite new, those Blaser sticks. I'm sure they will come out with one, but until then they're not quite.
They come with a rope, I think, so you can
they do,
anchor it with instead, and that's their sort of answer to the 5th leg.
Yeah, it's
for now,
orange,
isn't it?
Orange garish one. Yeah. So I've taken it off because I think it looks a bit silly. But if you're worried about how far they open out, then you can have that to set that length, which is, I suppose, quite handy.
Yeah.
Which would you get?
I did, and it sounds bad because they are my sticks, but I probably would go for the Viperflex.
What are they? What are the aluminium ones? How much money?
They are they're 150, 60 sort of sticks in my mind. That sort of amount of money. I can't, to be honest, truthfully remember.
So they're basically £100 less than the Blaser ones.
So Blaser 300 or 200 something, almost 300.
280, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
So
for that I probably would.
I'm not sure they're an 100 quid better.
No,
I'd say they're maybe little level pegging in terms of. I mean, they're probably a bit lighter, but not noticeably really.
No, I mean, and again, sort of depends, because I mean, as you can see from the groups, if someone came to me and said, I'm going to go deer stalking twice a year, chest shooting, roebuck or whatever, and I haven't got a huge amount of money to spend, these all day long, because as you can see from those targets, actually then they're not going to perform any worse for you.
No.
If someone comes to me and says, I'm going to be in deer stalking for the next 20-30 years, I'm going to use them pretty rigorously, day in, day out, I want something that just works and really good quality, I'd probably say Viperflex.
And if you think those are 80 quid, you know, if you're going to spend, you may as well spend an extra sort of, 80, 100 quid and get the Viperflex. I'm kind of tempted to say, like you say, especially because I think they probably will last you a couple of years. I've already bent them, sort of dropping them and stuff. Like I say, I've had them for a couple of years. So if you're going to be stalking for like 5-10 years, then it probably makes sense to go for the Viperflex ones. That's probably our advice, isn't it?
I think so. I think to conclude, what we've found, and I mean we've been using various sets of these. The Spartan are new to us today, and the Blaser are new to you a couple of months ago. But generally the other sticks, and we've used others as well apart from the ones that are shown here. We've been using them for a couple of years, and I think tried and tested, the Viperflex would be my go-to advice. I think I'd probably agree. So there you have it. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you've got any questions about the sticks in particular, then let us know and we'll try our best to answer them. We are going to do, as Harry said, a sort of more in-depth view of the Blaser ones at some point. We've done one on the Viperflex fifth leg, and we may at some point do one on the Viperflex sticks themselves. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.